So meanwhile, if some of you have any queries, you can put them in the chat. Anyone? Any questions from the previous discussion? Okay, so now let's look at 10 plus Davos. I'll be kind of sharing real world implementations of Davos across 10 industry verticals. So just a moment. Hope you are able to see the screen. Okay. So the first, I mean, one very good implementation of DAO is Maker DAO. Okay. So this is like they kind of designed a stable coin based DAO, and they kind of, so say imagine a world where a stable coin or stable currency is not issued by central bank, right? But an decentralized community. So that is what Maker DAO's statement was. And what they kind of created is a DAI, okay, DAI. It is a stable coin completely governed by its users. Okay, it is like proper DAO example. And the beauty is they have $5 billion worth of tokens and all, which is backing this stable coin. And what happens is if the number of I mean, if the value of the assets go fluctuate, then they adjust they adjust the supply of stable coins in the market. Okay, so that way it is like a decentralized community kind of crowd pooling the assets to the reserve, and that reserve backs the stable coin. And this whole thing is just happening as a DAO. So just imagine $5 billion worth of a currency, a stable coin, is just managed completely by a decentralized autonomous organization. And now if the power of AI gets added, what can it add? So one, of course, the AI, the Gen AI can kind of look at the kind of trading volumes across the exchanges where DAI is being used as a stable coin, and it can kind of predict the market conditions and adjust the collateral requirements. Because at the end of the day, reserve is backing the value of the DAI and supply of DAI. And if any fluctuations happen, the collateral has to be adjusted. And that is an amazing Gen AI capability which can be brought to MakerDAO. And DID benefits, because obviously uh, uh, MakerDAO also supports this decentralized finance concept, where anyone against the fund they put against in the treasury or in the collateral actually can take a loan also in fiat, I mean in DAI. So say for example, I have a cryptocurrency like say 1 Bitcoin, let's assume. Okay. So I can put that 1 Bitcoin in the reserve. Okay. And of course, by maintaining, by contributing to the reserve, the DAI as a stable coin, because it facilitates transactions on cryptocurrency exchanges, a small fee is paid by the exchange to the platform, I mean to the DAO. And that is distributed to all the investors. Okay. But then come loans. The other functionality is an individual can put up 1 BTC, for example, and can take a loan of 40% of the value or 50% of the value or whatever. And the DID, a decentralized identity attached to it, can make sure the loan eligibility. Because now imagine a Bitcoin is value today of $100,000, let's assume, and looking at the fluctuations and all, maybe someone, I mean, or the treasury is paying you for, say, 1 DAI is equal to $1. Now 40,000 DAI is what it can give from the treasury as a loan.
Sir, your mic is muted, sir. Not audible. Sir? There is some network issue, it seems. Please wait a minute.
Yeah, ma'am. Yes, I think
Yes, sir.
somehow it got disconnected suddenly. Okay, so I'm sharing the screen. Okay, so first thing is basically during 2020 market crash, the makers DAO governance mechanisms have successfully prevented DAI from losing its peg to USD, because pegging is nothing but whatever value of the stable coin is equivalent to that currency to which it is pegged. And if the value of what should I say, currency or reserve, so say sometimes the stable coin is backed by cryptocurrency, a mix of cryptocurrency portfolio, like mutual fund, you have various funds in which your money gets invested. So similarly, the reserve also can be mix of fiat money, which is like our traditional currency, and also mix of cryptocurrencies. So whatever it is, at the end of the day, the DAO's governance made sure that its pegging to USD is not lost, proving the robustness of decentralized governance. If it is like a centralized bank or fintech company, then there is, I mean, there can be run on the bank scenario and people losing trust on the bank because they don't have visibility to what is bank doing inside, I mean, internally, right?
खाली वोट्स क्या बड़ा होता तरकारी का तो पकाना उनको बच्चों को खाएंगे तो
Yeah, I request Shakil to mute yourself. Yeah, okay. So what MakerDAO demonstrates is that financial systems can thrive without central authorities, provided you have a transparent community-driven governance. Okay, so this is one amazing example of $5 billion worth of assets being locked on a DAO, and a stable coin is being run without involving any central bank and bank. Right? Now let's look at Uniswap. Right? So when crypto boom went up in 2015, 16, 17, lots of tokens and all, lots of centralized exchanges mushroomed across the world. But people are not aware that centralized exchanges are actually basically maintaining a centralized ledger, not the on-chain ledger to manage all the token ownership. Now imagine you owned a token, let's assume, okay, on exchange, on a centralized exchange. Actually, the centralized exchange is showing its internal ledger that you bought these tokens. But in the backend, they are maintaining a reserve which is managed by that exchange organization. So one of the biggest scam which happened in China called Gotex exchange, which is an exchange where they people bought bitcoins at that time. The price of bitcoin was in $10 to $20, $100 kind of. It is, I mean, it is hovering in between. So at that time, what they did is people bought bitcoins, but the next day or next week, the value went 10x. Okay, so that means I bought at $10 and then it went to 100. I mean $100. But the exchange internal mechanisms, they were not maintaining transparency, and they didn't buy those tokens in the backend. They didn't source it. So every centralized exchange has a reserve, and proof of reserve was not maintained by those players. And the problem is simple. Now, once the price went up to $100, a lot of people started selling them, and the exchange went bankrupt, obviously, because they didn't source at right time. And once the prices went up, they don't have enough reserve to sell them. So that is when the first decentralized exchange concept came, where the exchange functionality also is maintained on chain. And that happens as a DAO. Again, DAO is basically decentralized autonomous organization where the users are the stakeholders. So this is a decentralized exchange governed by its users. And today, $8 billion, see, $1 billion is what? Around 8 lakh crores, right? So $8 billion is 48 lakh crores of worth of transactions or trading happens on this decentralized exchange called Uniswap. But still, a DAO is as good as the voting mechanism and who is voting. So what an AI can, or a Gen AI can do, is basically it can detect fraud and provide voting recommendations on the go. Right? Something which I discussed in the previous session, where voting mechanism can be kind of monitored continuously, reviewed by Gen AI or an AI agent. And then a DID benefit is basically preventing bots in governance and enhances trader trust. Because in most of the exchanges, even bots do trading. Okay. Bots, you know bots. How many of you know bots? Hello?
Sir, bot, sir.
Yeah. Okay. How many of you know chatbot?
Yeah, we know, sir.
Yeah. Chatbot is what? Basically a kind of predefined chat menu, and someone interacts with it and it responds, right? Now a bot is nothing but a machine managed wallet, and it can do trading basically. Okay, so it's no human. But where
Okay.
does that bot get money from? Someone is funding it basically. Okay. So what happens in bot-based trading? Let me tell you. Let me give you an example. So imagine there is a exchange. Okay. What is exchange? Exchange is where lots of tokens are listed. You have Bitcoin, Ether, H bar, you have Sol, you have Polygon Matic, whatever. Okay. So you have multiple tokens listed. Okay. And you all know what is a trading. So I'm sure you know trading. Trading is nothing but buying and selling of a token. Okay. Now what happens is there will be a lot of people who will be continuously trading. And whenever someone sees that a price of a token is going more and more, then people's interest will go and they will try to invest in it. Okay. Now, by using a bot, I can artificially inflate prices of token. How? A bot can buy a token at a higher price and keep on buying at a higher price. And that owner of the bot will be maintaining a good reserve of that token which they are trying to inflate. So there will be multiple bots in the exchange which will start trading at a higher. Because why a bot can do trading on a centralized exchange? Because in traditional stock exchanges, every account or every demat account has a KYC attached to it. But at some point of time in past, before KYC was mandated by governments, the centralized exchanges were just non-KYC driven trading. So people used to use bots, used to manipulate the trade volumes, and people used to assume that, oh, array, this token is going up, lot of trade volume is happening. And like that, a lot of people kind of put money, and at right time, they will dump all the tokens into the market selling. And that way the price will drop so much, creating losses to all the people who invested. Okay. So this is called pump and dump. Now, this kind of frauds can be avoided by attaching a decentralized identity to all the wallets which take part in the what should I say um, in the decentralized exchanges basically. Okay. So any decentralized exchange is called as a DEX. Okay. DEX. And Uniswap DAO is one of such exchange. Okay. So this comes, I mean, this is the story of Uniswap. And indeed, say for example, what can be a decision? Let's assume. So say a DAO voted to allocate $20 million to developer grants. Because see, any exchange also needs developers. Agree? Hello?
Yes,
For
sir.
example, there is a cryptocurrency exchange. They need developers because obviously new features are to be added, debugging, security checks, lots of. Okay. So now imagine that particular DAO has a treasury of some billions. Okay. Now in that billions of dollars which it manages in the treasury, it has some provision for community engagement. It has provision for some developer grants, community grants, so startup grants, innovation grants. And now imagine someone has put a proposal in this DAO that $20 million worth of, I mean, worth of unique tokens. Because Uniswap as a decentralized exchange also has its own token called Uni. And $20 million worth of Uni tokens can be allocated to the developers by sending a proposal to this DAO. And all the users will give their consent based on what they think about it. And once the majority is achieved, it will be going. It will, I mean, that thing is transferred to a smart contract, which will manage that developer grants program. So this is how a Uniswap DAO proves that collective decision making can kind of can be taken care, right? So now another interesting DAO is Gitcoin. Okay. So imagine there is an open source community of multiple developers, and they are worrying about having their own funds. And that is what happened with GitHub. And then they they started this project called Gitcoin DAO. So what they do is it facilitates community driven grants. Okay. And indeed, the beauty is they have funded $50+ million for open source projects globally. So just imagine everyone who has an idea of an open source project submits a proposal with what they want to do and how much they want as a grant. And in that DAO, all the users will check whether that project is good, worth pursuing, and they will give voting. Now, if the majority votes comes to a project, automatically from the treasury, that particular grant will go. But it will go milestone based, because in any DAO project proposal, you will have 3 to 4 milestones. So you will say first 6 months, this is what I would do. Next 6 months, this is what I would do. So now that way, lots of milestones will be done, and continuously the proposal will be appended with updates, and step by step that project will be funded. So Kalavati ma'am, this is exactly the question which you asked, crowdfunding a research project.
Yes.
So there are many DAOs today which fund such projects. It is just that you need to kind of submit a proposal, take active part of the DAOs. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So Gitcoin basically received $3 million in community donations in their very early stages, 2022. And now they are like funding $50 million worth projects globally. So now just imagine what a DAO can do, right? Gitcoin DAO showcases how decentralized communities can sustain innovation and infrastructure for the greater good. Now let's imagine we creating a sustainability DAO. So all the people who want to work on sustainability projects across the country, say for example, someone wants to clean a lake, someone wants to kind of provide some green energy sources to some rural communities. Some people want to kind of recycle and regenerate some products from waste. So all these proposals can come to a DAO. And a DAO can be connected with all the CSR funds from people, CSR funds, government schemes, and all that pool of funds can be managed. So now imagine a government running a DAO. So, see, if you take DAO, it can kind of do miracles. It is just that you need to define the governance, you need to define the treasury management, you need to define the identity management, and then things will happen organically. Okay, so if someone is serious about pursuing a career in blockchain now, if someone wants to start their blockchain career, then look for DAO projects, because that is the next big thing. And look for decentralized identity projects. That is catching up. Okay. So in that context, and GenAI, now what can GenAI do in Gitcoin DAO, for example? It can analyze the project performance for funding prioritization, because there will be a lot of project proposals coming on a day in, day out. So it is practically impossible for all the, users in that DAO to go through proposals, come into consensus, reminders, follow-ups for voting. So this is like a hassle, right? But that is where an AI agent can play a very good role in prioritizing a project proposal based on the urgency and impact and relevance in the market. and can also review the project performance and bring a notice or recommendation to all the users. This is one good project which have promised something and they have delivered it within lesser time. So they should be prioritized. So this kind of mechanism is not available today in Davos. But an AI agent can help them do that, right? And last but not the least, verifiable developer credentials and transparent grant allocation is one of other important achievement of Gitcoin DAO by leveraging DID, right? And now let's move on to the next DAO, Decentraland. So how many of you know Decentraland? Hello?
I don't know, sir. Just we know about metaverse application.
Okay, so Decentraland is basically one of the very early metaverses, okay, where they have launched a land parcel marketplace, and people can buy a land parcel and build their virtual buildings in that particular small land parcel. And the beauty is each of the land parcel is an NFT, a non-fungible token, which is minted on, I think they minted it initially on Ethereum, but later moved on to Polygon, I guess. I don't remember exactly which chain they are using now, but it is all on-chain ownership. So it is like NFTs represent the ownership of the land parcel and access to it. And the beauty is the pricing of that virtual real estate is managed by users. So users govern and shape that virtual world. So say some affluent people, some influential people bought some land parcels in some particular area. Then all the users in the community will start buying certain things in that area, and some governance is kind of taken care. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So users govern and shape a virtual world. Okay. And $2 billion virtual real estate economy got created in Decentraland. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So now what can Gen AI do here? So Gen AI can kind of recommend land development strategies and moderate the content happening in the metaverse, right? Now say I want to buy a land parcel, let's assume. Okay. Now an AI agent can recommend, hey, this is one area where whatever activity you want to do, can be defined, can be recommended. Okay. And of course, DID is basically verifiable ownership of assets and prevention of fake accounts and all is also something which can be executed. Okay. So just give me a couple of minutes. Let me get some water. Okay. So now let's continue with the next DAO called Aragon DAO. So what they do is basically they enable DAOs to be created. So say, for example, you want to create your own DAO. These Aragon DAO, they create some they facilitate some modular tools for creating and managing DAOs. Okay. So rather than a DAO, they are a DAO for DAOs. Okay. So something like that platform has around 1900 plus DAOs, which are managing $900 million worth in assets. So what are they kind of trying to do is basically it's like they are providing a they are acting as a enabler, or they are acting as a ecosystem player by enabling more and more DAOs to be created easily. Okay. So what they do is basically someone can create a DAO, they create a treasury, and they have their own funding mechanisms, and uh, and whatever activity that particular DAO wants to do is under the governance of that particular DAO. So this is how a typical um, ecosystem works. And if you look at Gen AI, basically the AI automates proposal drafting, analyzes the member participation in a DAO. So the health of the DAO is also something which will be decided by an AI agent. And imagine they are listing 1900 DAOs across various sectors or various industries. An AI agent can kind of recommend and can also kind of analyze how active the DAO is and how it is performed. And again, coming to the decentralized identity aspect of it, it can verify the members, can verify. So whatever DAO is having a very good KYC, the DID based membership will automatically be trusted, right? So that will also help more and more DAOs to collaborate with each other. This is like in today's world, in an industry, multiple companies in a sector are collaborating with each other. Similarly, multiple DAOs also can collaborate with each other, and Aragon DAO is creating an ecosystem of DAOs to work together. Okay. So this is one interesting DAO which you can go deep dive and explore, right? And another interesting is, for example, there is one of the DAO. So you can, let's go look at. So there is one interesting DAO which I came across as part of all these 1900 DAOs called the Climate Collective DAO. So what this Climate Collective DAO does is basically they coordinate global climate initiatives which are happening across the world, and they are trying to bring some on-chain transparency or visibility to all these projects. So this is how Aragon DAO is acting as a backbone of decentralization, and AI governance can play a very good role in speeding up the proposal drafting and analyzing the member participation at scale. Okay. So while blockchain brings security, AI brings scale and speed. So now let's look at the next slide. So this is cross house DAO. Basically, it is decentralized sports management. So we all know basketball, football, cricket. These are like games which have huge followers, fans, and merchandise, brand value. And today, recently, when you saw the IPL auctions, every single cricketer is kind of getting sold across, in crores, and overall IPL team value is like today 650 crores, 700 crores. And how are the teams the owners will be recovering that through branding, advertisements, right? The ticketing, a share in the prize money if at all they win. So today, all these owners are individuals or organizations who are governing it, right? So again, it is centralized. But now imagine a decentralized sports management where the talent is recognized in a decentralized fashion, and they are supported or funded in their very early stages through a common fund. And whatever success stories comes out of it, revenues comes out of it, can be distributed back to that economy. So this is what is possible where fans collectively own and manage a basketball team. Let's assume, right? Now imagine we have Sunrisers, Hyderabad Sunrisers, or you have a Kabaddi team, Telugu Titans, right? Or now we want to create a new sports into this model, and it is public who can fund it based on the fans, and a IPL team can be managed by us, or a new Kabaddi team can be managed by public fans, or a new sport itself altogether can be managed by fans. So this cross house DAO is a global fan community of basketball, and they raised $4 million. Right? That's not a small amount. $1 million is 8 crores. So 8 into 4, 32 crores. So now imagine you need not think global, think local. So within a state, for example, within districts, there is a lot of talented people who are not just getting light visibility scope to kind of play or to get opportunity to play. Now let's assume a simple scenario. Imagine you have identified 11 or 22 cricketers who are upcoming at district levels, let's assume. Now the biggest challenge is they don't even get opportunity to play at state level right away. Now in the early stages, what can be done is a small crowd of people, the family, friends of these cricketers can come together, can form small DAO kind of funding, and they book a stadium, and they kind of book. They can kind of sell the tickets within that particular matches, and they are getting opportunity to play and some brand merchandise and all. So small DAOs. So don't think DAO is to be global. Not necessarily. It can be very much a local activity which can happen in a very transparent way. So community driven activities is huge. And in future, the community driven sports management, the community driven brand management, the community driven banking, the community driven financing, right? Anything can happen. But why is that not happening today? Because there is no mechanism which can facilitate trust across such huge number of people without involving a government body or a big organization. But now blockchain can facilitate that trust in the form of DAO, and huge number of communities across can come together. And what can AI do here? An AI agent can analyze a player performance and predict fan engagement strategies. And indeed, a decentralized identity can make sure all the fans' identities are verified and the token ownership is securely managed in the DAO. Right? And now comes City DAO. So this is also something very interesting. So in the past slides, we saw decentral and DAO, which is like a DAO to manage the virtual real estate in a virtual world metaverse. But City DAO is real estate, real estate. That means a DAO which is legally owning a US land for the first time. And all the people who are investors in that land are stakeholders of this DAO. And tomorrow, that land is sold at a higher price, and there is some commercial property which is built on top of it, and there are some, I mean, there is some revenues coming out of it, rental income or whatever, right? So now you can manage the dividend. The rent can be distributed as dividend to all these owners of the DAO, stakeholders of the DAO, and people can sell their tokens among themselves based on their needs. So just imagine the fractional ownership of a real estate can also be kind of managed by a decentralized autonomous organization. Right? So these are all examples which can show a potential of using DAO AI decentralized identity in a industry, right? And AI can evaluate which lands will go up based on the movement. And so say there is a geographical information system, and on that geographical information system, it can capture who is buying, in which area the lands are being bought with higher frequency, and then it can recommend a good land in a good area, and then people crowdfund and seamlessly buy a land. And once prices goes up after some time, the consensus can be happening between these stakeholders to decide to sell that land at a higher price. So everything can happen seamlessly, right? And then authentication of the ownership records and project participants, right? And the next DAO example is friends with benefits DAO. So this is another crazy example of social media communities or friend communities coming into the world of DAO. So let's assume you can tokenize the communities also, right? Like say, for example, there is a lot of artists who are having their own artwork. So all of these individual artists can come together and can create a token gated creative community. That means any of these creator or artist can get access to this DAO only when they have that particular token of the DAO. So that DAO token can be an NFT, or it can be like a certain volume of the tokens, minimum number of tokens one has to buy to get into that DAO. Then the community basically valued at $10,000 per member in peak market. So that means once you are part of the DAO and people started selling and buying the artwork, the value gets distributed proportionally based on your contributions. And at some point of time, this friends with benefits DAO, per each member, the value of their token holdings is $10,000, right? So don't think that in future also people will be just doing jobs for their lifetimes. No, gone are the days. Okay. So today people are not working more than 2 years, 3 years within an organization. And if someone is working more, there can be two scenarios. One, they are kind of having some ESOPs or stake in the company, or otherwise they are not kind of actively pursuing opportunities in other organizations. Okay. So in future, each interest of yours you can monetize. So say, for example, you have skill in coding, developer, you earn something. You have some interest in arts, be art part of a art DAO, contribute and earn something. You have interest in sharing knowledge, doing some trainings. You join a DAO which is working on some trainings, right? So, I mean, whatever interest you have, just join that community DAO, contribute, earn. So eventually we are moving into a future where you can earn money anyways. I mean, at the end of the day, but what's your passion? Finding that passion and focusing on that is what we will be getting into. Because with more and more AI taking our routine jobs from us, we can focus on more and more creative jobs. And such creativity and skill-based economies is the future. And such skill-based economies can only be managed by DAOs. It can't be managed by centralized players. So what can Gen AI do? It can personalize a member experience and predict growth areas. And second, verifiable artist credentials and bot-free governance. Because bots is biggest problem today. Okay. Whether you take Twitter or gaming communities or you take crypto exchanges, lots of bots manipulate the volumes, the number of users. Someone suddenly says, we have 10,000 users within the first week of starting launching the product in the market. But out of that 10,000 users, 9,000 are bots. Okay. Thousands are real users only. Okay. So lots of manipulations are happening with respect to identity side of the things. And that is where DID can play a role again, right? And any questions so far? I mean, I'm just progressing, but any questions? I didn't see any questions in the chat, so I'm just wondering. Are you people understanding? Is it interesting? Is it boring? So just tell me some feedback, please. Yeah. Otherwise, it is just like I'm speaking to my screen. That's it.
No, sir. These are very new topics to the participants. That is why they are listening to your topics.
Okay, okay. No, I mean, if it is interesting and you are kind of gaining some inputs, I'm happy. But any questions, any queries? Because I was kind of actively looking at chat, but no questions asked so far.
Yes, sir. Interesting. Even Indian government is also encouraging most of the DAOs now. And in future, we have it on education side also. We can witness all the DAOs and like blockchain based digital certificates.
Yeah. Yeah, verifiable credentials is one use case everyone is excited about. I think we'll see more adoption. But once those verifiable credentials are attached to wallets, DAOs will emerge. And I think that is the future. Okay, so next let's look at Moloch DAO. Basically, this is a community-driven funding initiative for enhancing the Ethereum's core infrastructure. So you all know Ethereum is the second largest public blockchain infrastructure, and it is mostly open source and community driven. And this is like very, very, very early DAO, which kind of funded Ethereum development. So it's like $1.5 million in grants for various Ethereum projects were sanctioned. And again, as I told you, any funding based DAO, the Gen AI can play a role to prioritize funding strategies and infrastructure needs. And decentralized identity can kind of take care of authenticating the developers and tracks project milestones. So this is basically an other, use case which I feel can be taken to various markets. I mean, this funding thing, you can do it in education, you can do it for for climate change, sustainability, and whatnot. I mean, you can take any cause and start working towards that, right? So I know I'm kind of going with speed because no questions asked. So any questions on the use cases or any queries so that I can talk about that. Yeah. I should tell you, we are working on this network at IDS called Bharat Blockchain Network, which is more an educational consortium network. And we are also building a DAO soon, which will be kind of governing the Polyversity metaverse, which is an educational metaverse, what we have built. So I think in future, we will be seeing more and more DAOs emerging, and Gen AI will power them, power the participants to participate in DAOs easily. Okay. Because today lack of awareness in terms of how do we engage with a DAO, how do we participate in DAO is something which is like very new and very few know it. But I think AI agents will make the job easy by explaining things, by recommending things.
Sir, you have launched a Polygon, no, I'm sorry, you have launched a Polyversities, no, during AICT
Yes,
Bharat
yes, yes. The
Blockchain
grand
Network.
finale. Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes,
grand
yes.
finale. Can you
Yes.
please showcase that one here? Is it possible or?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I can do that.
Sir,
Yeah, I think we
have you
yeah.
developed in Polygon network? Have you
No,
launched
no,
in
ma'am.
Polygon
No, no, no.
blockchain?
See, Polyversity, yeah, Polyversity may the meaning of Polyversity is multiple universities in one virtual world. That's it. Okay. Nowhere
Okay,
related to Polygon. But we used Privado ID, a decentralized identity of Polygon as part of our solution. But I mean,
okay.
no direct link with Polygon in any way. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So, okay. I mean, I think I completed pretty much the topics for the sessions, but on the request of ma'am, I'm now sharing Polyversity, and I will also kind of show a demo video of Polyversity metaverse. Okay, let's utilize the time which we have. Ready then? Yeah. Okay. So, okay. So I hope you're all able to see the screen. So
Yes,
this
sir.
is, yeah, this is Polyversity metaverse. And what we are creating is a next generation phygital university ecosystem. So when we say phygital, your physical campus and the virtual campus, what we are building for a couple of, I mean, 5 universities today in as phase one, we are building the virtual campuses for 5 academic partners of Bharat Blockchain Network, like Vvit, SRM, Symbiosis, ITM, and Sikkim Manipal group. But eventually, more and more campuses will be opened. So what we are trying to do is today the universities are scattered across the country, of course, across various locations. And the cross pollination of ideas or innovation or communities across universities is not that dominant. There are some cross university activities or inter college activities, but still it is like of very low quantum. But we want to create an ecosystem of these universities, but there should be one layer or one platform where all these universities and their students can seamlessly interact with each other. And that is what Polyversity is all about. So basically, we are also trying to bring the new dimensions of experiential learning, verifiable credentials, and gig opportunities getting integrated to this Polyversity, so that along with the virtual campuses of universities, even corporates and startups will have their office spaces in Opportunity Park Avenue, so that students with verifiable credentials and skill badges can seamlessly work with those companies in their virtual offices. So in future, maybe say ideas having its virtual campus in Opportunity Park can take interns from all the certified blockchain developers who receive NFTs as part of the course completion. And seamlessly that avatar attached to that wallet, attached to that verifiable credential can jump into IDS office seamlessly, right? So, I mean, we are kind of creating the world's first university ecosystem metaverse, because all other metaverses like Decentraland, Sandbox, and all are very generalized metaverses. But we are kind of creating a metaverse 2.0, kind of a niche metaverse with utility driven avenues. So the terms can be like little complex, but let me elaborate as we progress. So what we are doing is we are bringing the Web3 and metaverse kind of convergence, where immersive learning plus verifiable credentials plus skill based opportunities plus creator economy is enabled in the virtual world. Okay. And this was launched a couple of years back by our Honorable Minister, Higher Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhanji at AICTE auditorium. So basically, Polyversity is a metaverse which has 6 avenues. Okay. I mean, you think this as virtual real estate. We are building a virtual world. It has virtual real estate. It has land parcels, and you have a layout. So in real estate also, like say near Vvit, you have your capital city, Amaravati, correct? So in Amaravati, you have one region allocated for universities, one region allocated for government offices, one region allocated for companies to build their corporate offices. So similarly, in Polyversity also, we have 6 avenues. We have Knowledge City, where universities get land parcels. We have Opportunity Park, where corporates and startups get their office space. We have Innovation Hub, where incubation centers and corporate innovation programs get their land parcels. We have Entertainment Arena, where OTT players or multiplex companies or entertainment companies get their land parcels. And we have Esports Pavilion, where esports and gaming companies get their land parcels. And then Shopping Square, where brands get their virtual stores. Okay. So someone unmuted. Please mute yourself. Nirmala .gad. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Please. Yeah. So this is what Polyversity avenues are all about. So this is how the metaverse looks like. So you have a floral structure. This is inspired from our national flower lotus. And each of these rhombus shape will have 27 land parcels. So each of these land parcel is what is allocated. And of course, Vvit is also allocated with a land parcel, but we will be activating their virtual campus effort in the coming phase. But in phase 1, AICTE along with some 5 universities will be activating their virtual campuses. So each of these land parcel is basically a 4.1 acre digital land. Okay. So this is a virtual campus. So like this, each hexagon will host a virtual campus basically. Okay. And now this metaverse, for managing the identity of the students, faculty, and the university admin in the metaverse, there should be some permissions, right? So a student of a university can access the classroom of that university. Someone else should not be able to access the private spaces of the campus, right? So this is a permissioned metaverse. This is also another unique capability compared to Decentraland or Sandbox. If you take Decentraland or Sandbox, I mean, anyone can buy a land parcel. Anyone can enter a land parcel. It is just public, no KYC, nothing. So some people, and lot of problems with such spaces. People use bad words, people do some groping, people do some mischievous things with other avatars. So that is all nonsense happening in public metaverses. But then this is a permissioned metaverse, because every avatar entering into Polyversity has an identity attached to it. It can be a student or faculty, or it can be a university admin, it can be a company, brand, whoever. At the end of the day, there is a identity attached to that avatar in this metaverse. Okay. And that identity is managed in the backend Bharat blockchain network, where academia is maintaining nodes in the network, right? So we have, around 29 plus nodes on the mainnet and around 60 plus nodes on our testnet and some mirror nodes also. Okay. So yeah, I think, yeah, that's all with respect to Polyversity Metaverse in terms of what it can. Now, let me show you a demo of Metaverse. Okay. Demo of our Polyversity. Just give me a moment. I need to kind of open a link. So hope you are able to see the screen.
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Yes, sir.
So let me play a very brief demo of Polyversity.
Everyone, you can log in into the using your.
Are you able to listen to audio?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Using
I think I will mute this audio and I will kind of give you a heads up. So basically, Polyversity is a executable file based. It's a desktop application. It's not a browser based application because it is like having lots of virtual campuses and virtual buildings to be loaded. So a web browser one will be kind of heavy on downloads and all. So that's why we kind of made it a desktop application. And the moment you start the application, first thing is you need to create your avatar, because any metaverse, basically it's a 3D world. And in that 3D world, you need to have a character, an avatar. Okay. So you can kind of pick one of the avatar, or you can share your pick, your face pick, and it will give a customized avatar with features of your face. And you can also customize your features. You can make your you can update your skin tone. And so there is one open source avatar framework called Ready Player Me. So we have integrated that so that all the global upgrades. So Ready Player Me is focused on only the avatar design and avatar functionalities. So you can pick up one. You can pick up some dresses, attires, and accessories. You can load them up to your avatar and you can jump in. Okay. So basically, whenever you get into an avatar, you will have a Genesis Plaza. Okay. So the place where every avatar will come by default is called as Genesis Plaza. Okay. And all that circles which you are seeing are called as portals. Portal is nothing but that is a place. So if you walk into that portal, you will be taken to that place. Okay. Teleport. So you can teleport in metaverse from one place to another place. You can just disappear and appear. It is like God. You have Vishnu avatars, right? So like that, now every human can have a avatar. So you can fly in the metaverse. Again, this fly functionality is only for our admin. We won't allow students or faculty to jump or fly anyways. So this is how every organization gets a hexagonal land parcel and they can start building their virtual buildings, virtual campuses and all. Of course, those buildings which you are seeing are more representative, but this building which you will see soon is actually operational campus. Yeah, this one. Yeah, very futuristic. It has auditorium, it has classrooms, it has meeting rooms, it has certain lab setups and various things. Okay, so this is the Genesis Plaza, which I was talking about. Okay, so you can fly across. This is like you are building a world altogether from scratch, right? And recently on our innovation hub, one of the leading protocol, Hedera, has this organization called the Hashgraph Association. So they have also bought one land parcel on this innovation hub. Yeah. So you can see that, yeah. So we allocated this land parcel. So did you see the portal? I mean, the avatar just walked in and suddenly it is now at that particular place. So in our two-dimensional websites, which we use today, you have a web link like to enter into other page. So similarly in this 3D world, if you want to go to a different place, you need to just walk into that portal and then you will disappear here and you will appear there. Okay. So this is what we have built. I mean, the effort, I think this we have taken around 1.5 years to make sure the whole world is stable and it is functional. So how did you like Polyversity?
Great, sir.
So other than
Excellent
ma'am,
work, sir.
I'm not even able to hear from anyone. So guys, come on here. I mean, take a moment. I was speaking for
Excellent
last
work, sir.
yeah, I was speaking for last 2.5 hours approx. Okay. So I want some courtesy from you all. Just give some feedback, ask questions. Feel comfortable, it's okay.
Participants, please ask your questions.
Yeah.
Regarding digital identities and decentralized autonomous organizations or anything on blockchain.
Metaverse, blockchain, any industry use case. Okay. Anything.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Who is this?
Anita Mathur, sir. Sir, how digital identity used in MetaMask or Metaverse?
So, okay. So, Anita ma'am, if you take metaverse, basically the first thing is whenever you get into a metaverse, you are actually entering as an avatar, correct? Now, how do I know? Now, say for example, you belong to your institution X, okay? And you want to access that campus. But how does that 3D application know whether you are a student or whether you are a faculty of that college? So in the backend, the avatar has an account with which you log in. So the moment you log in, your identity, that is your student ID or faculty ID, once verified by your campus, is what is giving you access. So it is like basically account. See, the naming of decentralized identity is looking complex, but it is as simple as identity management systems in our traditional applications. But then why it is called as decentralized identity? Because the identity data is stored on blockchain, as simple as that. Okay. So now tomorrow, if a convocation is happening in the campus and a student is coming, how do you make sure it is actual student who is logging in and coming there as avatar to collect the certificate? Obviously, you need to have a DID attached to it and public private key pair to log in. So that is how DID plays a role in metaverse.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Anyone else? Any other questions? Thank you, Anita ma'am, for your question.
In Metaverse, are you taking a lease-based system?
What, ma'am? Sorry?
In Poly University, are you taking a lease-based place system?
Leasing. You mean land parcel leasing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, of course. So we have two smart contracts. One smart contract allows transfer of ownership of the land parcel, where we kind of transfer that NFT to a other wallet. Okay. But in some scenarios, we have other smart contract where we allocate a land parcel, or we allocate a digital land space to an organization, which is time bound, of course. So if they are not paying the rental for that digital land parcel, then of course we revoke that access and they will not be able to access it. Yeah.
Sir, how then digital university get benefits?
So see, one very let me give couple of use cases. So one is basically a pre-admission student experience. See, every college or university wants to attract good students. Yes, right? And most of these students may not even visit the physical campus at all. Now imagine I can just go through the website, some pics gallery, and some awards, some data points which are shared on the website. But I won't go and look at every page and deep dive into it, because that is like not that engaging, not that experiential in nature. Now imagine I created or we created your virtual campus where one spot is the gallery of your campus, where it is a walkthrough. Like say I'll just keep walking and I know, oh, okay, this is the director, this is the director's message. This is some of the biggest recent achievements happened. And these are kind of alumni, and there can be some admission counselors who can be waiting as avatars there, interacting with those students, right? So one way is basically a student engagement with the campus, right? And second, we all know our campuses are open from morning maybe 9:30 to evening 4 or 5. That's it. Post that, students do not have access to the campus at all, right? Right. Of course, the hostlers may have some access, but not everyone. So now if you want to organize an event, that's a overhead on the campus life, campus time, resources, everything. Now imagine all the students want to organize a kind of late night event or some activity in the campus. So if not possible physically, at least virtually, such things can happen seamlessly. And that is also an additional experience. And now they can go to the entertainment arena. So our entertainment arena has beach house virtually. We have Metaplex. So soon we are launching certain new movies. Even before OTTs launch, uh, we are kind of coming in between, and students can join as avatars in groups in a small private Metaplex campus, Metaplex theater, and can chit chat and can kind of experience a movie, right? So there are a lot of other auxiliary activities which are not happening in today's campuses, right? So it's only academics, it is only that reading, assignments, and all, that's it. So no extracurricular activities may happen once in a year with Tech Fest, Cultural Fest, but that's not something what we are looking at. It should happen with a higher frequency, and that is what a virtual campus can facilitate. And the third important use case is, today there are 10 universities in our polyversity, for example. So all these students across universities also can catch up with each other, can form teams, can participate in code challenges, hackathons, startups. They can be co-founders in a startup. So such cross-pollination of ideas is also something which can happen. So the social networking aspect between students of the campuses is also something what we are trying to nurture here. Yeah.
So small one question. As metaverse we require 5G network, but currently India we do not have a 5G network. Then how it's useful for distance learning with students?
No, I think I think you have not seen the 5G penetration recent traction. Okay, today India, US, and China are the only three countries who have entire country 5G connectivity, and we are the fastest to achieve even compared to China and US. Okay, so I don't think the 5G comment is correct. It is like we are already there. We are already having super 5G connectivity. But second, coming to your question on bandwidth. So basically, this polyversity metaverse can be accessed in two modes. One, virtual reality headset like Oculus, which requires, of course, 5G connectivity and all. But then the desktop version, what we offer, even with basic internet speeds of 10 Mbps, 250 Mbps, students can access the campus through their desktop. So, I mean, if you see during the demo on the top right side, we have put the network speed and the download speeds also. So, I mean, we don't need huge speeds to navigate in the metaverse, because the beauty of desktop application is when you download the desktop application, you are actually downloading lots of assets in place, I mean, locally. So that way we are reducing the need for high speeds to navigate in the metaverse.
So then how it is different from virtual classroom?
Which virtual classroom in the sense?
Means
Your physical classroom, your physical classroom.
no, sir. There are now many government like Delhi government started virtual classroom. There, poor people can learn without school. When they can learn their educations. So they started virtual classrooms. So it's like a same like a metaverse.
No, see,
like we are
virtual
learning,
classrooms
sir.
again, it is like your two-dimensional LMS kind of, right? It's like our these meetings. For example, let's assume you're all 143 people, and all I can see is just two-dimensional rectangles with names. That's it, right? But when you are actually doing this session in a metaverse, for example, right? You all will be sitting in a virtual auditorium, and I will be sharing my screen in a virtual metaverse, I mean, in the campus. And then we are actually going through. So let me show you one example, okay, to differentiate the traditional classrooms and I mean, traditional virtual thing and metaverse. So let me take you to something like little futuristic, interesting. Okay. Oh, okay. This space is okay. So this is one model campus what we have built for VIT. So that's my avatar. So I have portals here. So let me go to an auditorium. So this I'm navigating it on my desktop, right? So though I am accessing a 3D world, I'm accessing it through a 2D screen. Okay. So the new user experience layer. See, when you use your internet banking and when you API, what is the difference? At the end of the day, you are doing electronic transfer of money only. But the comfort, the ease at which you are doing it, and the seamlessness at which you are able to transfer is what makes life easy. Here, you just enter phone number, you are there. But for I mean, internet banking transfer, login, enter the bank account number twice, IFSC code, bank name, and then you are doing the transfer, right? So similarly here, you are actually jumping in from your physical campus to your virtual campus or from anywhere seamlessly, and you are having that campus life look and feel and interaction and networking, right? So just a minute. And indeed, I'm kind of sitting in my native place and just connected my phone on 4G and kind of accessing all this. So I think we are good with internet speeds today. I think my mobile data got exhausted, I guess. Just a moment. Just a moment. Let me change my. Within 2 minutes. Static phone and mobile data. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this spatial.io is a browser-based, what should I say, metaverse. So you can see here. So this screen is something where you can actually broadcast a presentation, Anita ma'am. So you are actually adding some perspective, some peers in the classroom and kind of some engaging environment. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions?
Thank you very much, sir.
And I have this auditorium space also, events. Now imagine when you have a virtual campus, you can have multiple people doing multiple activities within the same environment. But if it is to be organized in meetups or Zoom or these Teams and all, you're actually creating too many meeting links, right? And people accessing it, organizing it. So it's like crazy tough effort. Now say in that top auditorium, some activities can happen. This auditorium, some activities can happen. Classroom activities may happen. So you are actually making the entry point for some student simple, right? So I enter into the virtual campus. What all activities happening across, I will be knowing it in my dashboard and I can just jump in directly there. If I have permissions. Okay, got it? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's all from my side. I think
Thank
we
you, sir.
even discussed metaverse also, Kalavati ma'am. So
Okay, sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir. Now I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our resource person, Mr. Aravind Garu. Sir, your deep dive into AI-driven governance in Davos and digital identities has provided us with a clear understanding of how AI is revolutionizing decentralized organizational structures. Even in India also, we have a number of DAO applications, digital identity applications like our Aadhaar, SEBI's, KYC's blockchain platform. Tamil Nadu government has initiated digital identities, DIDs, and DigiLocker for DigiLocker and blockchain integration. Legit document organized by our Maharashtra State Board of Skill Development and Vazirex blockchain KYC, blockchain-based land registry and digital identity projects. Like even Andhra Pradesh and Telangana governments has started land regularization using blockchain network, and even Karnataka government also has started Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission ABDM. So these are all such kind of initiatives by the state governments and central government of India. Therefore, there is sir, we are very much thankful to you for exploring all the Davos in the entire world also. Sir, we are thank you. No, we are on behalf of all the participants, I thank you for your time and for sharing your valuable insights with us. Thank you, sir.
Okay, ma'am, thank you. And I hope all the participants had gained some insights which they can take forward, and looking forward for future sessions. And thanks Vvit and Kalavati ma'am for hosting me to share my insights and experiences to the participants. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.